This is Waco Tanks from Clock Gaming, here with some intermediate clashing.
So I just wanted to show a couple of high-level gameplay matches. I'm going to start off against an xbow deck. Again, I'm not, the world's greatest player, but I am level 13, close to max cards, and I figure it's kind of fun to watch some high-level ladder play. So here you're going to see me start by, blitzing with the hog, and I'm keeping elixir count here. I'm not sure if it's the best policy to log that musk right there, but my thinking was I want to get rid of that musk, and a max level fireball does not take out a max level musk, so just want to limit the options my opponent has. But now as my opponent's leaking from the furnace, I'm not so worried. Now when I see the xbow, I do get a little bit worried, but luckily I have enough elixir because I was patient with that furnace and took a little bit of chip damage so that I can completely dispatch that xbow with very little damage. Again, this comes from patiently responding to that furnace. Then I kind of blitz on the hog, and he didn't have anything really good to respond with, so he throws another musk. Notice that musk is going to be hard to fireball, but I can just handle it with a ice spirit, and then I'll put my archers out there to deal with both the musk and some of this trickle from the furnace. Again, I'm trying to keep that furnace from getting him to bank too much elixir. That's why I'm fireballing it here. Now he's pushing on the right-hand side, on my right-hand side, with these weenie troops, and I could have logged those and gotten damage on the tower, but I'm thinking, why not put in the knight and add some additional pressure? I don't know what he was thinking with that furnace play there, but I manage his musketeer on the left with my weenies, and look at what happens with that knight. That knight comes in and takes out his tower. So in this case, it did cost me one extra elixir, but instead of logging his weenies, which is kind of the reflex play, the knight ended up taking out a tower, which is kind of nice. So now I get that he wants to bank elixir with that furnace, but again he's playing it to where I can hit his tower with my log, hit the furnace in his tower with my log, and he's really giving me lots of value plays here. I don't know if he's probably it's somebody who's just trying an experimental deck, because the standard deck for this is going to be Inferno Tower instead of Furnace. I really like the Furnace card, and it is a nice idea to have some elixir banking, some sort of steady damage, but he really just doesn't have enough on the board to cut through, and that's going to be game. We're going to see here. I really love playing the cannon at the bridge because that's such a strange play unless you're playing against a siege deck, and it is such an in-your-face play. I don't know if that's an advisable play, but I really enjoy doing it, and it seems to work against this type of expo deck. The next match I want to show you is against a Golem Night Witch. Now we've kind of dealt with Golem Night Witch in the past, but this one has the Dark Prince in the slot that would normally be occupied for Baby Dragon. Of course, Dark Prince has recently seen a buff. Now you're going to see me push with my hog here. I really like when I see a pump to throw my hog as soon as possible, because, and I know I've covered this several times in my videos, but you have that pump out there. My fireball is not going to get rid of the pump, which means that an immediate fireball has the same effect as a fireball, I don't know, 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later maybe. So if I can push the hog in before the fireball, he's got less elixir to deal with my hog, and I still knock his pump down a ways. If I push the fireball before the hog, well then he loses the pump around the same time, but he's got plenty of elixir to deal with my hog by the time I get it out there. So that's why I push the hog instead of the fireball. So now we're going to see a nice little attack. I'm gonna try to distract this the Night Witch, but then in my critique of my own play here, I think I over-prioritize that pump, because now I'm just cycling cards to get to my hog so I can hog his pump and be sure that it's gone. But in so doing, I pushed those archers a little far forward. I think that archer could have been further back and maybe dealt with that Dark Prince, and I wouldn't have had so much damage from the Dark Prince. Now I do get the hog out, it does take care of the pump, but I feel like, really he distracted me with that pump, and I fell for it. Anyway, now you're going to see I like to use my cannon against the golem, and I really just want to get my archers going against his mega minion and against his night witch. Now my knight was a little late there, it's just the nature of the beast. I'm doing my best, but he's really just got too much coming for me to manage with just those archers. The ice spirit again should have been a little bit further back, so maybe the dark prince wouldn't have gotten to it. But since I know that my left tower is low, I'm gonna push with my hog, and it's nice that the hog tanks for the archer. But he, I think, wisely put the golem down so that the archer didn't get any damage on his tower. Now he's got another golem push coming, and he knows that, I had to use a lot of elixir to manage that, and I think that was a pretty solid lightning by him. Now I've got my archers going, but I prematurely dropped the skeletons and the ice spirit so that everybody could take an arrows. So up to that point, I think he's playing well, but this pump in the center, I think, was a bad idea. I think he was trying to lure my hog, but I think he forgot that he was down a tower, so I could set the hog right next to it. Look, I'm even floating elixir here because I was so dumbfounded by that play. Now this is pretty straightforward to manage. His tower is essentially down. He does not have a good attack. It all came from that middle pump placement. I mean, it was already ahead, but I really feel like that middle pump placement basically sealed the deal. I don't think that was a good play. Anyway, some standard stuff from me. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.